mother was a certain way when you were in there, and your mother had her own life. I'm Heather Grzych, and this is the Wisdom of the Body podcast. This podcast explores the idea of body intelligence as the real key to learning the knowledge of life, or what we call Ayurveda in the ancient language of Sanskrit. We do that by connecting with today's creative leaders and experts who will help you listen to your body, trust your gut, and live in deeper harmony with nature. Come join me as we unlock the golden door to clear, direct perception and become very deep listeners. You can find the Wisdom of the Body podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also follow us by joining my email at heathergrzych.com or on Instagram at heathergrzych. I know you're going to love this podcast, so take a second right now to subscribe. The whole purpose of meditation is different for different people, right? So people meditate for different reasons, and even just the act of meditation is sort of this thing where infinite possibilities are there because your mind can put its awareness on infinite things. So you could really meditate on an infinite number of things. And I think it's the Taoist tradition, they call it the 10,000 things, although there's, more than 10,000 things that we could put our awareness on. So there's so many things that we could put our awareness on. And yet what we're going to do is just simply put our awareness right now on our body for the purpose of getting the body out of the way. So for a moment here, just scan your body, start at your head, your neck, your shoulders, and go through the chest, the arms, the hands, go all the way into the back and the belly, the low back, the hips, the legs, the knees, ankles, toes, and feet. And just release anything that may have been holding a pattern from earlier in the day. Let that go so that you are left with a sense of lift and a sense of groundedness at the same time. And that is the human condition. So the human condition is one in which we are held down and lifting up at the same time. So gravity holding us down, and will and effort and life and prana lifting us up. So we have the groundedness into the earth and the lifting up to the sky and the stars and the sun and the moon. And we have to live with that balance. And sometimes we feel that balance go in one direction more than the other. Sometimes we feel like there's an excess of upward energy, and sometimes we feel like there's an excess of downward energy. So equalize the energy right now. Navel connecting to help equalize the energy. Okay, good. Get your awareness on your leaning, whether you're leaning forward or back or side to side, and see if you can lean in a way, whether that's a little more forward or a little bit more back, that allows you to get that deep sense of connectedness that I'm talking about, that sense of lift and that sense of groundedness at the same time. So just maybe rock micro movements back and forth for a minute, and then micro movements side to side for a minute. You'll feel the weight shift a tiny bit differently on the hips, on the sit bones as you're sitting. And then once you kind of rock a little bit, see if you can find that home base position, that home base where you've got this deep sense of lift and this deep sense of groundedness. Good. So coming into your core of your body, and then travel upward into your heart. So travel upward into your heart. We're going to go back in time. So like I said, we can meditate on infinite number of things. And today we're going to be concentrating on ancestors. So first, starting with yourself, the cells in your body, the present state of the mind shaped by the past, the energy that lives there, inside the body, around the body. Start with yourself. So starting here with yourself and then going back to your parents. And we'll start with your mother and the body that you came from, the body that bathed you in fluid so that you could grow rapidly, like babies grow so rapidly. It's insane. And that all happened inside your mother. And your mother was a certain way when you were in there. And your mother had her own life and things that she did. And she had her own way of being in the world and her own relationships and her own preferences and her own way she was making a mark on the world. So take your mom into your heart right now. Take your mom into your heart and recognize her loves, her passions, her struggles, her preferences, just that you know of, right? Because sometimes we don't even know a lot about our parents. You know, even our parents somehow don't always show them all of themselves. But the parts that you have seen of your parents, go there, recognize those things, be grateful for them, and have the purpose of this is for understanding and awareness, as our ancestors have shaped us in many ways. Going from mom and going to dad, and shifting your awareness to dad, whatever you know of dad, whether that's from present or from that time when you were born or that time when you were conceived or that time before you were there, before your parents had a family, maybe even from his childhood, his upbringing. Just recognize his preferences, his struggles, his challenges, his loves, his passions, the things that have shaped him, the things that affected his life, that motivated him, that drove him to do what he does in the world or what he did in the world. And just for a moment, holding your father in your heart, holding your father in your heart. So we'll go from father to father's parents, father's mother. Bring her into your mind and your heart. Envision her face, if you know what it looks like. Think about the life that she had, what it was like, what the world was like for her challenges, her struggles, her loves, what may have brought her joy. Was there a kind of flower she liked? What do you know about her? What have you been told? What can you glean? And to your father's father, holding your father's father in your heart. What do you know about your father's father? How did his life trajectory go from the time he was a child, what the world was like in his adulthood, his preferences, his challenges, his deep hurts, his loves, his full human experience, the arc of his life. And your father's mother and your mother's mother together or separate, depending on how they were raised, what that was like then for your father. What was that like for your father? So going back just 2 layers into your lineage right now on the father's side. And we're going to shift back over to mom. So mom, holding mom in the heart. Now going to your mother's mother in your heart, the maternal lineage. Going to your mother's mother and to her life and the things that she loved and the things that she hated and her preferences, her likes, her challenges, the world that she lived in. What did she do on a normal day? What was it like? What was that world like? What was she like as a little girl? What was she like as an adult? What was she like later in life? Again, whatever you know, because sometimes we don't know some of these things, or sometimes we have someone who passed early. Whatever you know, hold her in your heart. And to your mother's father, so your grandfather, bringing him into your heart. Where did he live? Where was he from? What did he do for work? What did he love? What were his challenges? What was the world like then? What was he like as a child? What was he like as an adult? Did he get really old? Is he still here? Think about your grandpa. Where is he now? How was his life impacted? What impacted his life? And then collectively, your grandmother and your grandfather, how did they impact your mother's life? Hold all that in your heart. The beauty, the pros, the cons, the positive, the negatives, because life comes with all of it, right? Just understand the dynamics of their life stories, the arc of their life. Coming back to mom and dad, holding all of your immediate lineage, your mother, your father, and all of your grandparents into your heart right now, holding them all there, feeling them with you, feeling their influence on you, holding them all there in your heart, feeling gratitude for how they've shaped you, feeling gratitude for how they've shaped you, understanding their challenges, forgiving them for anything that they may have done where they were not their best, where they themselves were having challenges. Forgiving, loving. And then coming back to you and your heart, fully in your body, with you as you've been shaped, your mind, your body, your heart, your world, holding yourself in your heart, holding yourself in your heart, holding yourself in your heart, holding yourself in your heart. If you are embarking on a fertility journey and are ready to have your mind blown about what your body is really capable of and how it's impacted by the environment, then check out my book, The Ayurvedic Guide to Fertility. You can actually download the introduction to the book for free on my website at heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. Read the intro for free and then buy the rest of this fertility enlightening book pretty much anywhere books are sold. Thank you for tuning in and dropping in with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. I really want to hear your feedback. To learn more about my work, visit heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. And meet me here next time on The Wisdom of the Body.